And there's Jesse Waters. Just kidding. Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld. So great to be on the floor here in Milwaukee.
Well, I missed the whole thing. So many things.
You have it. The RNC convention is underway. That was the chairman, Michael Whatley. And we're excited to be here in Milwaukee. You got your whole five here. Judge Janine Pirro, Jessica Tarla from her wonderful maternity leave. And we're so glad that you're here. And then there's Jesse Waters. Just kidding. Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld. So great to be here. J.D. Vance announced as the vice presidential pick. Not a huge surprise since that had been out there for a while. We do expect him to speak at some point. We will keep you updated on as to when that will be. So 4 of us at this table have had a chance to tell you our thoughts about the RNC kickoff, the failed assassination attempt of President Trump, and the VP pick. But Greg Gutfeld has yet to give you a bit of his wisdom and his wit. So I turn it over to you, sir, give you the floor here in Milwaukee.
Well, I missed the whole thing. So many things. This has probably been, the last 2 days have probably been the most unbelievable, surreal moment in political history. I don't think there's any way to oversell it. I do find it funny watching people who call Trump a threat to democracy now wishing for his speedy recovery. I mean, did people who fought Hitler wish him a speedy recovery after they attempted to kill him? No. Or could it be that they never really meant it to begin with and it was just words, stuff you say to win? I almost respect the dogs not barking, the Joy Reids, Madonna, Cher. Hollywood, for once, is biting its collective lip. Maybe they realized they went too far to walk it back with a Hallmark greeting card. But I think the Dems never understood the statistical possibility of demonic messaging, right? Say this stuff repetitively to 300 million people. There's going to be a few nutcases that act on it. My feeling is the left doesn't know it goes too far until they go too far. It's always been about abolishing boundaries, from borders to gender to the nature of crime to rhetoric. Without any normal stopgap of moderate Democrats, they just keep going until you see what happens on Saturday. The fact that Joy Reid protected her tweets, going underground, morning breath taken off the air, it's an admission that the boundaries were crossed. And even they realize that they themselves cannot be trusted. This is the drunk who actually hands over their own car keys. And I think what we're seeing is what happens when you conflate boundaries with losing. It's not losing to surrender to limits. It's being a conscious human saying, maybe we went too far. I'm looking for something that I'm just going to say. There was something you said, I don't know when it was, a couple of days ago. Jesse said, why can't you just not win this one?
Yeah.
Why do you have to win everything? And I go back to that thought because it's like, for Republicans, politics on the list of things that matter are below family, work, religion, NASCAR, hunting, fishing. But for a lot of Democrats, it's personal. It's their life. And so they don't have any boundaries when it comes to the things that they say. I'm not saying that they caused this thing. What I'm saying is that it's assassination by amplification. You don't call somebody Hitler in the hopes that they don't get killed, right? You don't demonize somebody hoping that they get flowers sent to them. You do this because you have a desire to win it at all costs. And now you've seen what happens. And now you have people saying, you know what, maybe we should dial it back a bit. I think it was on The View. They said we need to lower the temperature. And they are nothing more than arsonists who aren't aware of the actual work they've done. They've raised the temperature every day. A threat to democracy, a threat to democracy. I don't know what's worse, believing that Trump was a threat to democracy or saying he was and knowing you were lying and not understanding what you did.
Right.
So that's my thought.
Can I just follow with one thing? We're going to get everybody at the table in here. I was wanting to ask you about MSNBC's decision to pull Morning Joe. I mean, this is the president's show that he watches every morning. So he has a big primetime address. And then the next morning, his big show isn't on because, presumably, because somebody told CNN they felt like either the panel couldn't be trusted.
It's an admission of guilt. That's what it is. if they take, like, let's say something, take anything like January 6th, for example. Nobody was taken off of Fox because we aren't guilty. We are here to talk about what happened. They understood that they have people like Joy Reid. Why did she lock her tweets down? Is she cleaning up all her media footprint? MSNBC must understand that where they are in this game, that they let it here. Yeah. And I mean, to me, it's like either you double down on Trump as Hitler or you go quiet. Either way, you're guilty.
And also, you can't just go quiet for a week, yes. I would assume. All right, so we did have big news today. President Trump announced his VP pick. Jesse, it is the senator from Ohio, the junior senator, J.D. Vance. He won in 2022. So he's been a senator just for a couple of years. Kind of reminds me of Barack Obama.
Yeah, exactly like Barack Obama.
That just occurred to me. But as soon as I said it, Jessica was like, oh, yeah, right. That's 10 years.
Well, first of all, Jessica, it's good to have you back around the table.
Thank you.
You were so missed, and you just happened to be pregnant at the perfect time and deliver this baby when you missed the Trump trial and Biden's meltdown, the debate, and the attempted assassination.
We have good fertility mojo.
Great timing, Jessica. All right, so Vance is good. I like him. They like him because he's great on television. He is composed, and he'll be calm when he prosecutes Kamala. We call her Laffin, Laffin. Apostrophe. And he's great on these mainstream media shows. He's just very moderate and then hits you in the face eloquently. But his biography's stunning. His biography, he's a poor kid from a steel town in Ohio. His dad wasn't there. His mom was an addict, raised by his grandmother in one of these towns that was hollowed out by these dumb trade deals. He's kind of has the biography of populism. And he goes and joins the Marines, and then he comes back, goes to the Ohio State, and then Yale, which was my safety school, and then becomes this brilliant author and also a venture capitalist, but he's not a corporate Republican.
Surprise, yeah.
He's for the American worker, and that really distinguishes him from a lot of the older Republicans. And then his age obviously distinguishes him. I think he's younger than Jessica. She pointed that out in the green room. And she's not upset about it, but ideologically, he's America first. Janine touched on it last week. He doesn't want to get entangled with these alliances. He's for strong borders, strong tariffs, and just has a very nice family structure. And he'll be a great future leader in the party, but he's not being anointed. He's not going to be, Trump's not saying you're going to take the MAGA torch and run with it. He's going to have to work for the nomination in 28, and he probably will do a good job.
Judge, can you give us a sense of President Trump's frame of mind? We're 48 hours since the assassination attempt. He is here in Milwaukee. I don't know exactly when we're going to hear from him, but we do know that he gave a pretty remarkable interview, and that was ran in the New York Post, in which he said, I have been given a chance to unite. What do you think?
Well, I've spoken to him a couple of times in those 48 hours. And, it's amazing. It's just been 48 hours since he was knocked down by a shot in that iconic moment where his fist is up. He's down with the American flag in the background. And it shows that, and I believe that will be a statue one day. I mean, I don't think it's so iconic. It's just so telling of the moment. But the fact that he made a decision to get up, he even said he wanted to continue the speech. And he talked about being defiant in the face of wickedness.